Good evening. This is Michael T. Johnson II here with Faithful and Fresh. What's going on, y'all? How y'all like the intro? Does the suspense kill you? Do you watch it and say, hurry up and say something so I can figure out if I want to stay or not? I'm starting to like the production quality. I'm really starting to like it. On this late Tuesday evening, we are getting started. The fragrance of the day. My first half was Louis Vuitton Imagination, which is just, again, it's just my hitter. I'm sorry if I show you my bottle, I'm probably like a third full, so the refill is coming up. But for the second half is Santel 33 from Le Labo. It is such a crisp fragrance that has a little bit, just a little bit of like this spice, a little bit to it that but it's just an amazingly powdery, woody smell that just has a little bit of this spice, just a little bit. But it's a beautifully put together fragrance. I know some people that don't like it, and I know people that just love it, but it is a very, very, very attractive fragrance for your spring and summer needs. So, and it might even be unisex. I will have to do my research on that, but I think it's unisex. So that is the fragrance of the evening. No matter where you're from, whether it's through Instagram, Facebook, or through YouTube, make yourself seen. Drop in the chat. Let me know where you're coming in from. Shout out to the faithful few. What it do? Man, I am ultimately not here without you guys and gals. We got such an amazing group, and we are just getting started. Shout out to everybody that has jumped on and supported my TikTok as well, making sure that they are supporting. So everybody can't do the paid subscription, but the most free thing that you can do at this point is to join the TikTok, the Instagram, the YouTube. So make sure you subscribe and do that. So if you are looking at the title of, so sorry, Candle of the Evening is one of my favorite fragrances, scents of this line, and it is Yankee Candle's Midsummer. Is it Midsummer Nights? Midsummer Nights. And I actually really got put on to Yankee Candle from my mom because she is a fragrance candle head too. And this was one of the ones that she put me on to, and I've enjoyed it. It is what it just sounds like. It is a midsummer night. It has that cool fragrance where it has some moodiness, some depth, but yet and still has a level of masculinity to it. And so I enjoy that. So moving on, if you have not seen the title for some reason, or maybe you just can't read, the title for the evening is But I Want It Now. All right. Does that sound familiar? That you just gotta have it now. All right. I wonder if y'all know where I'm going with this. Where am I going with this? I want it now. Of course, I got my handy dandy sweet tea, zero sugar. I don't know if y'all can hear this through the mic, but that sounds good. Sounds better than pouring liquor. Forgot my iPad, and I was going to go home and grab it, but I said, you know what, the show must go on. So with that being said, let's get into it because it's late. You about tired. Your attention span is already shot. So let's hurry up and get into it. Let's get out. I was thinking about doing a second live, and it was going to be a little bit more raw, a little bit more on the edge, if you will. It was actually about those that are in relationships. Can they actually tell the truth to each other? But I might do that depending on how the energy feels. But I want it now. Where does this come from? All right. And the frame of reference that I wanted to give was Willy Wonka. And if you have watched Willy Wonka, funny enough, there's this girl on there. I believe her name is Violet. And I probably should have did my research before I did. But on Willy Wonka, there's this girl named Violet. And Violet is a bougie, spoiled kid. And throughout Willy Wonka, she's going around and she's like, hey, I see these Oompa Loompas. I want one of those. I want it now. Then you got the I want that and I want it now. And her dad to say, okay, honey, we'll get you one. All right. And that was just where I got the title from, but it's not necessarily the concept and the body of what we're going to talk about, but it's very relative and you will see why. All right. And also too, what is that? I'm just giving out all type of free ads. What's the one company called? Is it JG Wentworth? As they say, it's my money and I want it now. Is that somebody put that in the chat? Let me know. Is that JG Wentworth that did the it's my money and I want it now? I hope I got this chat thing going on right. And so, need a cash settle, need cash now. Okay, got it. JG, wait, okay. See, y'all watch too much TV. That's what it is. Hey, but that's great marketing. They remembered this. All right, but the whole thing is of what we're talking about is a lot of people. Yeah, this is JG Wentworth 877 cash now. Yep, there it is. And so what we're going to get into is pretty much when people start to have symptoms. All right. Now, detach from the Willy Wonka thing, because this is going to be, you're going to get the parallel of just saying, I want something right now. All right. What happens is a lot of us find ourselves in places where we feel a pain. Okay. And we feel a pain, and this pain comes from a lot of different things. For some of us, it comes from not having money. For some of us, it's from grieving. From some of us, it's from not being in shape. Whatever the thing is, we all have felt a pain. All right, maybe it was grieving. Maybe it's from. This is crazy. Maybe it's from addictions. Maybe it's from broken relationships or parenting disagreements or childhood trauma, whatever the thing is. Okay. And we have this pain. And inside of this pain, what happens is there is a medication process, if you will. And when we go through this, what usually happens is we start medicating towards a symptom. All right. Somebody says, hey, my head hurts. I get chronic headaches and even migraines. And there are things that I do when I understand that I'm having a headache, that I have a kind of system that I start doing to medicate my headache or my migraine. So that might look like I maybe need to lay down. Maybe I need to check and see if I ate enough. Maybe I've had, maybe I might be dehydrated. And at this point, most of the time, what I like to do is just be able to close my eyes, keep, my room dark, not a lot of light, and I'm able to kind of sleep it off, so to speak. All right. But all of the elements that I talked about of why it triggers a headache is a part of the quote unquote core issue or disease. Now, obviously having migraines and headaches is not necessarily a disease, but I'm using this in a parallel to say that a lot of times if I just medicated for the headache, I would just take Tylenol. I would just probably take Excedrin or Aleve or whatever brand of pill that you want to take. All right. But the issue is a lot of times is that my headaches come from something else going wrong with me. Maybe I'm enduring a lot of stress. Maybe, again, I haven't drunk enough water, ate the right food. Maybe I haven't eaten in a long time. Whatever the thing is, maybe I had too much sugar. Whatever the thing is, my headache is an indication that something isn't right inside of my body. But because I want it now, I go right to the pill. Because I want the relief right now, I'm going to sleep. All right. And so the whole thing is about wanting an instant fix. All right. And why is this, man, David, You got it right on the nose. Relieving the symptom, not alleviating the disease. So why do I say this? Because a lot of times, I'll give you an example, and this is just the path that I'm on, and this is a part of it right now. A lot of times when I have somebody that gets on a Patreon, all right, like I've had people that have declined to be on it. I have people that have been a part of it, and I have people that maybe financially have went through some things and then they get off. And then to be honest, I've had probably, I think, one person that for some reason maybe didn't find value in it. All right, and that's cool. That's cool. I'm not tripping. But a lot of times when it happens, it's about the money. All right. It's about the money. I might see the payment decline, something like that. I'll reach out to the person and say, hey, your payment ain't go through. Then they might say, oh, well, I got a new card, or say so whatever they say. Or they might just say, you know what, I'm going through some financial things and this is just where I'm at right now. Cool. Now, the issue is how did we get to our finances hurting so bad and being so stressed out that we don't have $10, all right, that we don't have $25, that we don't have $100 a month to do the Patreon. Now, again, there are some people that just don't want to be a part of something, and they're going to look for any reason. $10 is just the thing that's going to filter out those that want it for free. Josiah said microwave culture, 100%. I'll be lying if I didn't say I had some residue in it, especially with social media. But inside of this, why do we get to a place in where we're so stressed with money? Well, the story I want to share with you is a story that I think I might be messing it up a little bit, but the core concept is there. And this story was shared by Pastor Tony Evans, and it's in his book, Kingdom Men Rising. And what he talked about was he would go home, and when he went home, he would lay in his bed, and he started watching TV. And as he's watching TV, he started to just look at his wall, and he looked up all the way, and he looked up, and he seen a crack running from his wall to the ceiling. So he's like, okay, cool. Let me just call somebody and get them out there to fix it. They fixed the crack. We're all good, Mr. Evans. He's like, perfect. Thank you so much. Pays, boom. Maybe like a week goes by. He goes back to his room, lays down for the night. He's ready to retire. And he looks up at his wall, and then the same crack is back, and it's going right up to the ceiling. He's like, man, I calls the guy. Hey, I just had you come out and replace this crack. You know, I don't know what happened, but did you fix it? He's like, yeah, I think I did. I'm pretty sure I did everything I was supposed to do. Comes back, fixed the crack, putties it up, paints it, whatever. Boom. Cool. Next week goes on. He comes back. He's ready to retire and go to sleep. He looks up, sees his wall. Got the crack going from the wall to the ceiling. So now he's frustrated. Calls the guy, says, yo, man, I paid you for a service. Man, you obviously did not fix it because I keep seeing it. The guy is scratching his head. I'm pretty sure I did it. So he comes over. He says, you know what, Mr. Evans, I'm so sorry. I'll make sure I come through and check it out. Comes through and checks it out. He says, you know what? Now he's on the second floor of his house. He says, you know what? Hold on real quick. He said, I'll be right back. Mr. Evans says, where are you going? He said, I'm going to go to the basement. He goes to the basement, comes back up. Hey, says, Mr. Evans, no matter how many times I patch up this crack and I do the ceiling, your crack is still going to come back. He says, what are you talking about? He says, well, the reason why this crack keeps happening is because your foundation is slanted and it's putting undue pressure onto this side of the house. And you're getting this crack because it's all the pressure weighing on this wall. And I say that to say, when we talk about, at least with money, the reason why so many people get to a place and where they're frustrated, they're exhausted financially, and the reason why this happens is because foundationally, the way that we're spending our money is because of to what David spoke about, is a disease. It is a core issue. All right. Do you spend all your money on Uber Eats and DoorDash? Do you spend your money on certain habits and addictions? Do you spend your money only just paying bills? Are you not making enough money? What is the thing that actually is the issue right here? But a lot of times when we're, I hate to say it, but not making enough money is a issue within itself. But when we look at you being able to have discretionary funds, how is it that the way in which you're using your free will to spend your money is putting you in this place where, let's just say, entitlement? You make your money, you got bills to pay, you really don't got a lot of money, but you say, hey, I worked this whole week. I deserve to be able to spend my money the way that I want to. And because of that entitlement, that's leaving you with the symptom of not having money. All right. And so what ends up happening is that person might actually have a disease of not having a good amount of self-esteem. Maybe that person is looking for validation from people when they go and buy the nice outfit and the cool shoes. Maybe when they go to the club and they blow their money and they're buying alcohol and they're buying people drinks and they're doing, maybe this person actually doesn't understand their identity. And so they seek validation from so many people or for a few people. And it ends up in turn leaving them with a symptom that they can identify as pain. All right. And a lot of us, because we're not medical professionals, most of us as people are not spiritually locked in. So we feel the pain of a symptom and think that that is the disease. And a lot of times I found that in my life because I've dealt with the symptom for so long that I believe that it is the disease or the core issue, because I'm just not educated enough to understand really what my core issue is. It was a funny joke about when you go to a mechanic. And I'm sure every one of us have went to a place to get an oil change, and we go and get an oil change. And what do? They're changing the oil. And while they're changing the oil, what do they bring to you? What does the oil change place, what do they bring to you? You're getting an oil change, but what do they bring to you as you're getting your oil change? And they always say that this is dirty. You can have a brand new one of these, and they're going to show you and say, hey, Mr. Johnson, I just want to show you that you got this, and this might need to be replaced. $100%. It's the filter. It's the filter. You go for an oil change, they're bringing you some other item. It was a joke that Lavelle Crawford had before. He was like, I went to a doctor about my knee. They come back telling me I got high blood pressure. And it's just this weird thing. And I'm not saying necessarily that a knee problem has to do with high blood pressure, but inflammation is a real thing, but I digress. But the whole thing is that a lot of times we have this problem. And what happens is that we feel the pain so much. And then I have men, women that come to me and they seek my insight, and they say, man, Mr. Johnson, or hey, if you know me on a personal level, you say, hey, Mike, or if you really, really know me, you're part of my family, you say, Mikey. Then you're asking me, you say, yo, I got this thing going on, man. Dude, I need to make some money right now. Hey, I'm broken with this. This thing is not right. And you're doing all of these things. And you're presenting all of these things. And then as I'm hearing it, and I hear you say, yeah, my mom doing this, or hey, my dad doing this, or hey, this relationship ain't going right, and this and that. And then I start thinking, I'm like, okay. And I say, what do you do to show yourself that you love yourself? Like, what do you mean? Like, I need to make money. I'm like, but what do you do to show yourself love? And now I sound like I'm about to cuss. Now I start to sound like some Jedi or monk or some wizard, where they're talking about they need to make money. And I'm asking them, what do you do to show yourself love? And it doesn't seem like it goes together because this person doesn't have that knowledge base. And I'm not saying I'm the pro of all pros. But what I'm saying is that a lot of times, to what David spoke of again, is that we medicate a symptom, but we never actually spend any time working on the core disease. All right. And so what happens is that because we feel that pain in that spot, we're just like, as I've cut hair, I feel pain in my back a lot of times. A lot of times from standing up, doing haircuts, working at school, I feel pain usually in my back. But do you know what actually helped my back? Was actually making sure I had the right footwear on. The Jordans is cute. The Adidas all the time is cool. Even some of the Yeezys. But what ended up happening was I kept telling the guy at the shoe repair place, hey, man, my back keep hurting, man. My feet feel like they just be throbbing. And this is what he said. I didn't even write this down. This is incredible. And he says, let me see your shoe. And so I was like, okay, cool. Now I'm thinking in my head, yeah, I know my feet hurt. He's going to give me a insole for my shoe. So what ends up happening is he takes my insole out of the shoe and he shows me my insole. And on my insole, you could see that the whole insole was worn, but you know the part that wasn't was my heel. The arch part, the arch. My arch was it looked like my arch of my shoe looked brand new. It looked like nothing ever touched. He's like, your arch is not touching your support. You're not getting support in your feet because your arch is not actually getting supported. So he's like, man, that's probably the core reason why your back hurts. Man, do you know I bought this insole? Back pain alleviated immediately. Now, I've done went to massage places every single week. I'm not on my Deshaun Watson or my Justin Tucker. No shade, but, I just have to say that. But I went to these massage places and had them work on my back. Went to chiropractors, do all this. And yet it still cost me $50 for some insoles. And it helped my back tremendously. But all those times of me going to get a massage and going to a chiropractor was to eliminate, or at this point, try to alleviate some pain from at my back. But the whole issue was at my feet. Weren't getting the right support. So work my feet to my knees working all the way to my back, necks are hurting. And so why am I saying that? Because when we start to feel the stress of not having money, when we feel the stress of not having the relationship that we want, there is that pain. There is that pain. But fixing that pain doesn't necessarily stop the actual problem. All right. Maybe you're trying to rush into a relationship because you're really just afraid of being alone. Maybe that's why you keep running into relationships that don't fit you. Maybe it's actually that you are afraid to do the work that it takes on you personally because you don't know how long that's going to take for you to see the results. Maybe you don't trust that there's actually a life for you if you actually understood how to budget your money. Maybe budgeting seems too restrictive for you. But just saying, hey, I'm not going to buy those shoes when they come out, that's not going to fix the fact of the matter that you have a consumer spirit. It's not going to fix the fact of the matter that you think that you're entitled to buy things just because you went to work and you can just buy these things, even if it puts you in a place and it positions you in a place that ends up being poverty. All right. And so I wanted to share that because there are so many people that when they get into this Patreon, they're wanting me to fix them. Say, hey, you get a Patreon, you spend $10 and you spend $10. I'm going to show you how to make $1 million. Now, are there some people out there that's going to use that as an advertisement? Yes, they will. But what the process is going to be is that we want to fix these core issues. We want to fix these core issues. And so many of us, and me included, and I say so many of us because this is a real thing. There are so many people that feel the stress of not having money, not having the relationship that they want, not having let me say this, the friendships, the relationships, and even the intimacy with God. And they're trying to bypass it. And they're saying, okay, I get that I need to do some stuff to love myself. I get that I need to do some things to improve my self-esteem. I get that. But tell me how to make money right now, though. Tell me how to do that. I'm like, look, essentially you're going to be building a house on a bad foundation. It's going to look cute, but as soon as a storm comes, it's going to blow away the house. And so why do I say that? It's because we live in a world where so many people do not care if you actually have a strong foundation. Because truth be told, most people don't try to buy a house for the foundation. They buy it because they got the big island in the kitchen. They got the nice ensuite. It's the closet. They but then they start talking about, hey, this roof is going to cost you $20,000, $30,000 for a metal roof. Like, nah, I'm cool. I'll just take the regular shingles. They say, okay, well, the shingles last for 10 years or 2 years, whatever the thing might be. And what ends up happening is we start to only care about the superficial things because that's what we think that other people care about. Can I be honest with you? I said this to a student earlier today because she asked me a question. And she said, Mr. Johnson, how did you, she said, were you always in church? And I said, yeah. And I said, you know what? To be honest with you, I've had the quantity of being in church, but I haven't always had quality years. I didn't get everything I was supposed to get. And it wasn't like my pastor's fault or anything. It was me. And what I ended up talking about was that what I've come to realize is making these steps to improve myself through the word of God, making sure that I build community and being in an environment that helps grow me. What I've realized is that a lot of people actually don't want to, a lot of people are scared of the control that they actually have. And what they will do is they'll try and put it on you. And what the reason why people do that is because if you fail, they can always use you as an excuse of why they didn't go and be everything that God wanted them to be. All right. And so now what ends up happening is that they're waiting on you to go after, the purpose that God has and then how you fit into that. And then when you don't, they start to blame you. And then you say, well, you didn't need me. You could have went off and did it. But they're like, no. I want to do it with you. And the reason why they'll do that is because they're afraid of actually having the control. And so what they'll do is at this point, what I've come to find out is that people will be afraid of the control that they have because they're afraid of looking like a failure when it's their fault. And what usually ends up happening, and I said this to her today, and I said 85%, but I'll probably go as far as to say like probably 90 and maybe 95. Most people are not actually afraid of being poor. Most people are not afraid of giving up their life for stupid reasons. What people on the majority are afraid of is other people knowing about it. They're afraid of the exposure of being broke. They'll be poor. They just don't want people to know about it. They're not afraid of being failures. They're afraid of being exposed as a failure. That was a bar. Most people are not afraid to be a failure. They actually are very courageous to be a failure. It's just that they don't want people in the masses to know that they're going to be a failure. This is why people have dreams and then they give them away, because they find a crowd of people that don't mind if they give up on their dreams. How many people, when you say that you want to be successful, are okay with you saying like, hey, I'm just gonna have this 9 to 5 and I'm just going to work at Amazon. Like, man, when you was in high school, you was talking about when you was in elementary school, when you was a kid, you was talking about you was gonna be an astronaut and a lawyer and this and that. And now you doing Uber Eats. Now you door dashing. You said you want to be a doctor. Now you door dashing. Come on now, that ain't you. But what happens is that they're okay with it because they're not being exposed. You can't wait for the exposure of you being a failure to let that be. Like, let me say it. You can't let the exposure start to ignite you developing and being intentional with your purpose. Because guess what? The people that we usually try to put ourselves around when we're selling out on ourselves, they're selling out too. And whether we admit it or not, we know it. We know when we go with them. Because when we get pressure from the people that love us and that want to see us do it that you think that they're hating on you or that they're insensitive. And I'm not saying that just because sometimes I can be insensitive. I do know that. But the other part of it is that we find a crowd that isn't around in a same level of weakness. And what happens is because it's a core issue. It's a core issue. And that core disease is fear. It's fear. It was a show. I can't remember. And I probably shouldn't even talk about it because I don't even remember what it was. But it was some show that they were blackmailing people. And I think it was like political people or high-ranking people. If somebody know this show, please put it in the chat. But it was this show. And on this show, what they were, either it was a person or a group of people that were kind of like blackmailing political people. And the way that they were doing it was they knew something about these political people and they started to threaten that they will expose them. And they were getting these people to do favors and stuff like that. And I cannot remember what movie that was. I want to say, I don't know if it was Luther. I don't know if y'all know what I'm probably not giving the greatest description and explanation. But the fear of being exposed for something that they did in their private life or in their personal life kept them from, and just said, you know what? I don't want this to get out. I don't want this to get out. What do I need to do? Well, wire $1 million to this guy. Oh man, where am I going to get $1 million? Well, if you don't get the $1 million, we're going to make sure that you get exposed. You're like, okay. And they figure out a way. And what I've come to realize is there is a part of us that loves to be reactive. All right. The proactiveness or proactivity, if you will, helps us. I was sharing it. Let me finish my thought. It helps us to weather the storm when it comes. Having a strong foundation is not because it's going to be a storm every single day. Now, maybe depending on where you at, maybe, but a strong foundation is for you to know that you can handle a storm. Now, does that mean that your house is going to be perfect after every storm? No. But I would rather replace a couple shingles on a house than for my whole house to get taken off of the ground because it had a terrible foundation. The integrity of the house gets challenged and it's done. I'd rather, hey, broken window, roof, hey, that's a lot cheaper to replace than the whole house. But what ends up happening, IG, what's happening? I see y'all. But I was talking to my student and I was sharing with her, and this is just being transparent. I've been reading the Bible every day. I wake up, for the most part, about 5 o'clock. Sometimes I wake up a little earlier. Sometimes I wake up a little later. For the most part, 5 a.m., I wake up and I read the Bible. At the very least, I read the verse of the day. I read it, pray, and sometimes I go back to sleep or I wake up and go throughout my day. Most times I fall asleep, I'll be honest with you. Get like 15 more minutes of sleep. And what I have noticed is, because I'm staying with the concept of being proactive, I haven't been reading the Bible so much because of the fact of the matter that I'm so broken and I'm so hurt, or I need God to just give me a breakthrough. I've read it because of the fact of the matter that I know that I'm coming into challenges. I know that I'm going through levels of like growing pains, if you will. And I know that there is a evolutionary stage for my life that needs me to be better, need me to be more stronger, more faithful. And I have had some situations that has arrived in my life that I really believe that I've been able to handle them the right way because of my proactiveness with my relationship with God. Now, I don't know everything that's going to happen in your life in which, you working your faith, how that's going to help you in what ways. I can't necessarily just pinpoint that into everybody's life that's watching this. But what I can say is this, that if you're training yourself for stress, if you're training yourself to be able to handle stress, I promise you, you will end up seeing that stress will end up finding you. And at this point, you will end up being able to enjoy the benefits of exercising that muscle, that faith, that ability to handle that stress. But guess what? If you're not, now you have to worry about being reactive. Now, doctor tells you something that you don't want to hear. Now what you doing? Now what we got to do? We come together as a family. We fasting for a week and we doing all this. Be proactive. Don't wait till the doctor tell you something. Don't wait till you about to get an eviction notice. Don't wait till you about to get the repo. Learn how to effing budget right now. Learn how to take care of your body right now. Learn how to steward. Don't wait until, so I don't know if Josiah is still on here, but Josiah is, he is a great example to me of, and he will have to say it, and I don't, because I can't speak for him, but I can imagine if I was to kind of speak for him in a sense, and then he can drop in the comments if I'm wrong, but I can imagine that every day and every week that he was participating in church services, every time he was, going to Sunday school or Bible studies or choir rehearsals or musician rehearsals and whatever, and all his prayers with his family, I guarantee you he wasn't thinking in the beginning that he was doing that to prepare for the loss of his parents. But he ended up having a situation, and I can still say, now I can say, now I'm not saying he doesn't have his moments of grieving. I'm not saying he don't go through. Now I don't know all of those details, but what I can say is this: somehow he's still working multiple jobs. Him and his brother. Somehow he's working multiple jobs. Somehow he still has figured out a way to not let addictions overcome him. He still figured out a way to progress through life. And why am I saying that? Because I want to use this as an example of what being proactive does. All right. Now, there are some things I cannot express this enough. So many of us have done this and we've been on the bad side. We have responded to traumas and distress, and we've allowed that to get so much attention, and we're just like, God, I just want to get away from the pain. I'm okay with dealing with the loneliness. I'm okay with dealing with the heartbreak if I'm distracted. Even if I'm detached from reality by me using alcohol and drugs. Hey, I'm okay, God. Like, if pornography is what I got to use to stay distracted, that Lord, that's what I do. I just don't want to feel the pain. I just don't want to feel the pain. I just don't want to feel the pain. And there's so many of us that end up having a moment where we don't feel the pain, and we end up not realizing that it makes it worse. Because you didn't heal it, that disease is progressing. That core issue is building, is growing. In sports, I think it was just recently, I believe, and I'm about to get out of here. I believe it was Jaylen Brown for the Boston Celtics. He's one of the best two-way players in the league. And I think what he was getting, some injections, into his knee to continue to play. But the reason why he did it is because he doesn't want to obviously do a procedure, or he doesn't have that time to do therapy and a procedure because they're in the playoffs. But guess what? I can probably guarantee you that he's probably going to sacrifice himself and probably either have to do more therapy, maybe might be more probable, higher probability for surgery, or he might just actually be just doing his body just a lot worse, where it might maybe be irrecoverable. But nevertheless, he did the shot. So there's so many of us that you waited to go live at 10. LOL, we owe. Yeah, I got you, Nene. No, you owed. But I wanted just to say that because there's so many of us that wait until we have the mental breakdown to start handling your emotional stability. So many of us wait till we miss one payment, we miss two. What ends up happening? Now you done brought me an issue when you know what I'm saying, thousands of dollars behind, whereas in you could have just, hey, it's $100, $200, $300. Or, hey, you know, I'm going through this and I got a court case. Man, hey, what's that, man? Hey, talk to me about Jesus now, man. You know, I still will, but I think y'all get the picture, right? And so it has to be the shift for us. It has to be this shift where we have to stop going to a place where, not where it's too late, but it is late. All right. I like saying this. I said this in my class. I tell my students, because I tell them that high school is the beginning of deadbeat moms and dads, or good dads and good moms, great husbands and great wives. It all starts in that high school kind of area. But most people don't care because they're going to wait till they actually end up feeling lonely before they start fixing themselves up for relationships. I know some of y'all know what I'm talking about. Some of y'all going to wait till y'all get all the way out of shape and be lonely and then be like, okay, maybe I need to change. Somebody been telling you though. You done waited till, you done tried out the stuff you wanted to do when you was broke, didn't finish it, didn't follow through. And now, like, maybe I do need to change. Now you're being reactive still. And then the issue is that even when you are reactive, most people still have this pride. I'm telling you, it is the most craziest thing to me that you can get a reactionary person that can be behind on bills, behind on their life, behind on a lot of things in their life, and they still have this ego and this pride. Man, y'all, man, am I preaching? Am I boring? I'm telling you, man, people hate when you have a result and an outcome. People hate that. People hate that. Because what they don't like all the times. Guess what? Nene said I went till live at 10 to go live, right? And she supports me crazy. But you know what the funny thing is that I'd rather do this at 10. The preacher's son, that's funny. I'd rather do it at 10 than not do it. You know, it was a pull for me to do this. It was a pull for me to do this. It was a real pull. But I'm here. But guess what? There's so many people that have the talent, charisma, that got it going on. And they are not getting in front of the camera. They're afraid. They're afraid of the opinions of people that don't matter. And no matter how many times I say this, it's just a reality. It'd be cool on TikTok because people would just be up scrolling at night. Oh, I still can't go live on TikTok yet. But it's so funny to I'm so scared to lose my life because I was afraid of the opinions of other people. I can't express that enough, y'all. I cannot express this enough. And so I say I love everybody that supports, and I love people that don't. But I like those that follow me, especially those that's in the faithful few. I got a special place in my heart for those that have paid the money to actually watch and listen to me talk. But you know what? Guess what? One of the most beautiful things I can truly say I am the most happiest I've ever been in my life. I feel the most fulfilled. I get so much fulfillment out of my life right now. The place I'm at with my marriage, with my children, with doing social media. And guess what? It's not because, hold on, how many people is in this? Let me see how many people is in this live. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, it's like 5,000 people in this live. I'm appreciative of all of them, But I mean, some people might consider that success. But hey, it's 5,000. I mean, I'm used to lower numbers, to be honest. But I mean, 5,000 is cool. But it's not because I'm so viral that I enjoy doing this. I enjoy doing this because I enjoy, one, the things I talk about because it comes from my heart, from my mind. The second part of it is because I enjoy knowing that I have this thought pattern that says, man, bro, it's some people that's not going to rock with you. It's some people that'll jump on your live that don't really mess with you. There's some people that call, that text, that say that they're going to support and they don't. Man, and sometimes that hurts. Man, there's some people that want to see me fail. There's some people that will watch me just to critique me. Man, there's some people that remember my past. There's some people that I've hurt along the way. There's some people that might project, failure, or might say something. All that stuff goes through my head. But in spite of every single thought that I have, let me hold on. Let me figure out if I can do this real quick. Hold on. I do not. Did I do that right, y'all? Did I bleep myself out the right way? Let me know if my timing is right. All the musicians in the chat, my timing was mother. Let me know if I hit that just real quick. That was a little. But I know the thoughts that I have, saith Michael T. Johnson II. I know my thoughts that I have toward myself. That before anybody can say anything to me about what I do, how I could do something better, I'm already thinking it. But in spite of everything that I think about, I still do this. Why? Because I got people that watch me, like people that have like bought me this notebook. All right. And this pen that came with it. My daughter bought me this notebook and this pen. And for when she watches me and she says, "Hey Dad, you're doing a good job." That's what I do it for. So what the F do I care about what anybody else think about? And I'm not about to rant, but I'm just saying that to say, you don't know who you're going to impact. You don't know who you're going to help. But just because you want to be viral right now, let me just say this. The desire is not wrong. It's not wrong for you to want to be viral. It's the issue is if you allow that to say, the reality is if you are not viral right off the gate, you're not going to do it. Yeah, I want to be in shape the first effing day that I go to the gym. But guess what? I'm not. Hey, it's been a lot of times I went on the first day and then got back on the scale and ended up seeing that I weighed a little bit more somehow when I left the gym than before I don't know. It's weird. But desiring and wanting something right now, you know what? It's human. It's human. But that's not the reality. And so I wanted to share that with you guys because understanding that it's you're going to get the result. You're going to get the outcome, but you gotta be willing to do the work underground. You gotta be able to just let the seed start rooting to the ground, and then at some point you're going to break ground. I don't know if I should share this, but I'll share this, and I promise you I'll be done. Last night I was driving home, and I don't even remember what I was doing. What did I do? But that doesn't matter. I was up here at the shop. Came and got here, got my clippers so I can shave my head when I got home. And it's grew back already, as you can see. Hold on, let me show you how crazy my stubble came back. Boom. Can you see that stubble, y'all? But I came here, I got my clippers and stuff, and I was driving home. And I listened to this app, and it kind of like just does like some like meditation practices. And I look at my abs the next morning, like, wait, I worked out yesterday. Where are they at? Don't let you drink some water. And like, as soon as you can have abs, and then you drink some water, and then as soon as you drink the water, it's like you like bloated, like you got like this gut. But I was driving home and I was doing this meditation practice, and what they were doing was like they give you like these visuals, right? And so uh, it was talking about like meeting your future self, and inside of this thing, this lady was like, "Hey, she take you that deep breath, and she's like, "Hey, you're walking down this path, and you're in the forest, and 20 feet from you, you see this door, and when you see this door." You see it and you look at the door. She's describing this door. And I'm like, wow, I can really see it. I went home, I parked, and I'm just like, and sitting in the car. And I'm like, it was like 9 minutes. And so she's describing the door. And I'm like, I'm a visual person, so I can see it in my mind. I'm sitting there reclining. And then she's like, you go through this door and you see this room that's familiar to you. Or it's a new room. It's comfortable. That's what she says. And like in my mind, I can visualize this room. It's really, really nice. All right. It's really, really nice in this room. And it has it's very kind of classy, like these Chesterfield couches. It's like these bookshelves with books in them. It got this fireplace with these two chairs and this dope desk. And like, it was like this dope picture behind it. Like I could see it, like it was amazing. And so she says, you walk into this door and you see this comfortable room that has all of these different features that you want. She says, you walk one step into the room and you look back out this door, and everything that you was walking through, it disappears. And she says, you close the door, and as you're in this door, in this room, you see another door, and you see this person walk through this other door. Now, as I'm watching this in my mind, as I'm going through it, the second door opens up from the side, and I'm at this door. This door opens up at the side, and this person walks in, and it's me. And so she's like, you see this person, and she's like going through this thing or whatever, right? And she's like, and you talk to this person, and you're asking this person questions or whatever. And so in my visualization, what I'm seeing is that I'm seeing me dressed up, wearing really nice clothes. And I'm looking at my clothes. I'm like kind of wearing like some like regular, like kind of like street clothes. And I'm looking at myself and I'm amazed. Like I'm seeing this all in my mind. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. And so the other me sits down at this chair, and we sit at this fireplace. And I sit at the other chair, and I'm looking at me, and I'm like, I'm just amazed. And I'm looking at myself, and it's like, and the lady says in the walkthrough, she says, I'm just going to give you a minute to ask the questions and speak and say whatever you want to say. So me, I'm like, I see the successful me. I'm like, hold on. And I look at the other me, and I'm like, dude, how long does it take for me to get to where you at? And he's like, you gonna get there. You doing the right stuff. You just got to keep going. And I'm like for real? He's like, yeah. He's like, all of the stuff you're doing to help your subconscious mind, everything that you're doing to build your self-esteem, everything that you're doing to spend the time with your family, everything that you're doing to build your brand, all of it's going to materialize. You just got to keep doing what you're doing. And I keep asking them, like, just out of pure selfishness, like, I'm just like, to be honest, I'm like, how long is it going to take? Like, how long is that going to take? And I'm like, man, how's my family going to be like? Is everything like still like intact? Everything going to work out? He's like, come on. We walk out the room. We go into like this foyer area. And then it's like my daughters run up to me and hug me. And then my sons run up to me and I'm hugging them. And then my wife comes up to me and gives me a kiss. And like, but it's him. It's not like it's me, but it's like the arrived me. And I'm like, wow. Like, and so he's like, come with me. And we go to the garage. And it's like crazy cars. And we like just walking. I'm like, it's all of these cars. And we're walking. And I'm like, dude. And I'm like, my mind is blown. And he's like, hold on, come on. Like, and he's just showing me this like materialistic stuff. And then we walk back to the room and he's like, yeah, like you just keep doing what you're doing. I was so into that. I got off the car. Y'all would not believe me. I got off the car. Do you know, like I was so into that. Like when I got off the car, I was kind of like walking a little like I was drunk a little bit. And I'm like, wow. And it's so vivid in my mind now. And why did I share that whole thing with you? Because in my exit, I'm saying this. that although I want all of those things now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I want all of those things now. What I do understand is that it's going to take some compounding. All right. It's going to take some compounding. And I'm okay with understanding the interest that comes with this compounding. So I get a little bit nerdy with this kind of stuff. Like when I watch my YouTubes, when I listen to my affirmations, when I'm reading the Bible, when I'm doing my prayers, when I'm going to my class and I'm talking to my mentor 2 weeks and 2 days out of a week, I get nerdy with that because I'm sharing this with you. And this point right now, April 29th at 10:56, 2025, because I want you guys to know a part of my path. And so that when it happens, that people don't think that I'm an overnight celebrity because I shared this with you. So I share that to hopefully inspire all of you to say that, yo, I see you, I hear you, I feel you. And if you are looking for a group of people that is into understanding how to, or trying to, let me say this, understanding the importance of fixing core issues or core diseases, the Faithful Few is where you want to be. All right. If you're into being proactive because you're tired of dealing with the pain of being broke or broke in, the Faithful Few is where you want to be at. All right. So I appreciate y'all, everybody that was on here. I can imagine, I'm not sure of who all is still in here from Facebook, but I would go as far as to guess. Now, you know what? Let me just do this. If you still here from any one of these streams, if you are still in the chat, let me know if you're still there. Because I want to guess. Okay, Nene, she locked in. Nene's on Instagram tearing it up. And I'm getting off because it's about to be 11 and she really does go to sleep early. If you're on Facebook, I see some people on here. I don't want all 5,000 people to say anything. I'll be here all night waiting for all 5,000 people to say, you know, who's here. But if I was to guess, let me see. I'm older, you know. Yeah. You. I don't think you got grades yet. I got like 3 grades coming through my middle. If you are on YouTube, on Facebook, and you're there, I appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and make a guess based on my support group. If I had to say, I would say that the 2 people along with Nene that's on this live would be my wife and Josiah Williamson. If I had to guess, that second, and well, it's a couple more people in there. Oh, she said she got a lot of gray hairs. But if you are on Facebook, say something real quick in the chat. Let me know that you're still in here because I can't see exactly who's in the live. I can see who's in there. If you are in this Facebook, just say who it is. I want to be able to shout you out. Okay, as expected, my wife is in here. Y'all might think that my wife be supporting, but she be making sure that it's not girls in here that's flirting with me and stuff like that. She's a chat box cop. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm just playing. But yeah, if you guys are doing work and you feel like you want those people that understand what it feels like to go against the grain of people that are failures, yo, this is a group. Understand that the majority of people are not. Oh, Halia, what's happening? You just jumped on at the end just so you. No, I'm just playing. You actually was probably on there. Exactly. But yeah, if you're looking for that group, I can truly say that it is a uphill battle. What's the word? What is it? That's how I know it's getting late because I can't even think of something. Delayed gratification. If you're waiting on delayed gratification and you feeling the pain of dealing with that, yo, like I get it. We get it at the Faithful Few. So so all right, I'm getting out of here. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. let me know in which ways y'all think I can continue to evolve. Um, I'm gonna keep doing it, y'all, and I hope that y'all not only ride along with me, but that you guys get in front of a camera and y'all keep producing content, whether it's faceless or face full. Get out there and don't let nobody stop you from. Don't let nobody's opinions of you stop you. Yeah, that's y'all better than that. All right, so whether you are the Codish Dreader, whether you are Kaylee, whether you are Just J Man, Erica, Kaylee, Oscar, my brother Caden, yo, keep producing, keep producing, keep producing, because you gotta give the haters something to talk about. And I had a session I was going to do on the hate that makes you great. All right, but that's going to probably be a different segment. But again, I'm out. I never have smooth exits. So that's going to start changing because I'm getting smoother, y'all. Getting smoother. This is not smooth. But all right, I'm out. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And as always, hold on. As always, stay faithful, my friends. Peace.